Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to another UFC MMA breakdown, and we're talking about what just happened. If you guys are tuning into the live stream, I want to let you guys know, if you guys have not seen the full fight, I would recommend you turning off the live stream and moving away, okay? You will be able to put a link in the description box and you'll be able to see the fights, okay? So I'm giving you a 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, tonight we're talking about the UFC 212 fight between Jose Aldo and Max Holloway. Okay, this fight was sick. There was a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people were saying that Max wasn't ready. Jose's the best guy at 145 pounds. Okay, this is what I think of the fight. Max Holloway, I thought, looked like he was kind of like in shock, because he said for years he used to look up to Jose Aldo and was like a big, huge fan of Jose, and always was like, well, Jose's the guy I looked at when I was in high school, the guy that was dominating. Jose was like 17-1 in his last 19 fights. Jose Aldo comes out there, lands a big combo on Max Holloway, and Max Holloway looked like he was kind of nervous. He wasn't throwing his flashiness. He threw one spinning back kick, and you didn't see anything from Jose that showed Jose throwing leg kicks. And that's one thing Jose is known for, is throwing a lot of significant leg kicks and battering his opponents. So what happened was Max Holloway kept getting his composure and keep getting his rhythm down, and that's one thing that we didn't see from Aldo. Aldo wasn't using his speed that much. He was landing a jab here and there, but overall Max Holloway just kept coming forward, landing a few punches and bunches. And what Max Holloway did was eventually in the third round landed just nothing crazy. And a lot of people on Twitter said, is this fight going to be won by a technical knockout, a TKO, or just a straight 1-2 knockout? And for what I was saying, it's going to be a brutal knockout. Okay, I thought that's the way the fight was going to be played out, was a technical knockout, because that's what I thought. I didn't think it was going to go to the decision. I didn't think it was going to be a one-sided ass whooping at all. I definitely thought the fight was going to be won by somebody landing some significant strikes, and somebody who was being more vicious and more violent, okay? And none of these guys were being really vicious and very violent, okay, in their attack. They were being very, like, predictable, kind of. But Max Holloway just landed a 1-2 punch, and that's what knocked Jose down. And he had knee on belly, and when he had the knee on belly, he was just on him, landing punches and bunches. And yes, Jose Aldo's like, hey man, the fight shouldn't have been stopped. Well, he dropped, okay? The guy dropped, and he was getting punched and bunched, okay? So, is Max Holloway the best guy at 145 pounds? You could say, yeah, he is. Or you could say, no, he isn't, because he is a badass dude, okay? 11 fights in a row winning, okay? That's a bigger win streak than Conor McGregor. That's a bigger winning streak right now than Demetrius Johnson. This dude is a beast, okay? The last guy that beat him was Conor McGregor, okay? And that was when Max Holloway had like 7 fights in his UFC career, okay? And he's gone on to be 11 wins in a row. That's matching people like Anderson Silva, okay? Is this dude fighting the best in the world? Yeah, he is. He is improving, and maybe he might not be the most muscular guy, the biggest guy, but what was funny in this fight, he put his hands up and he was like taunting them, kind of like what Nate and Nick Diaz do to their opponents. And everybody was like, oh my god, he's doing the Stockton trash talk. And he really was. He was trash talking to people like, what's Jose going to do? Because he was like, come on, Jose, hit me. And I really, my heart of heart, I really thought Jose's power and strength is going to win this fight because he's a lot stronger, a lot more power puncher than what you have in Max Holloway. Max Holloway is a badass dude, but I don't think he has the power and the the oversized power. I thought the power would go to Jose. I thought Jose would beat him with the quickness, beat him with the strikes. But nah, man, Max Holloway proved to the world why he's the best guy in the world. He's cocky. He's very confident. And the next guy to step up would be Frankie Edgar. So we're going to see if Frankie Edgar is the #1 contender, and he'll fight Max Holloway at the next time Max's fights, maybe in Hawaii or something like that. But honestly, I think Max Holloway is a guy that is very underrated. A lot of people might not know him, and a lot of people might know him. So I know a lot of friends who are casual MMA fans that didn't even know who Max Holloway was, and they're like, is Max Holloway just going to get whooped? I'm like, no, Max Holloway is not a guy to be sleeping on. Max Holloway is a guy who is very, very talented, very, very well-rounded, and he's a fucking genius, okay? He's fucking, like, crazy, but he didn't do his craziness like he did in his last fight against Ricardo Lamas and all those other guys. He wasn't going out there just swinging for the fences. He played it very safe, counter-striked, and to me, it looked like he was still nervous to fight the guy that he looked up to in high school. He looked like a guy that was going to get knocked out. And I assumed, okay, later in the round, if Max Holloway keeps acting like this and not really pressing forward and not really throwing a lot of strikes, he's going to get knocked out. But boy, was I wrong. And there goes another fight I was thinking about before I watched the fight that I should have betted on the fight, because in my predictions, I said Max Holloway will probably win. But I said this: it doesn't matter if Max Holloway won or if Jose Aldo won. They're both badass fighters. Jose will come back. This is the thing. Jose Aldo is the old breed of MMA fighters, and Max Holloway is the new breed that's rising up, and they're showing these older guys who are the better guys. It's the same thing. Conor's the new breed of MMA. He showed Jose Aldo how to get knocked out, and Jose got knocked out in his last 3 fights. Okay, his last 3 fights, he's got knocked out twice and won 1. Okay, is this the downfall of Jose Aldo? It could be. Look at Renan Barão. Renan Barão was a champion for so long, was vicious and violent, and now look at him. He lost a lot of fights. So at the end of the day, guys, I definitely will put a link in the description box so you guys can watch the full fights if you haven't watched the fights yet. Like I said, if you're tuning into this live stream, you already know from the title, it's just a result of the fights, okay? And for me, another fight on the fight card that I thought was really weird was the Vitor fight. I don't know if Vitor should have won that fight, to be honest. He didn't really do a lot to win that fight. He got taken down. He got beat up a little bit, but maybe they just gave him the win because Vitor was in his hometown. I don't really think he did a lot. He didn't show me much. You know, that's the thing with Vitor as of late. Ever since he got off the TRT, he hasn't done really much. Come forward, he's not aggressive. And Nate Marquardt was a little bit more aggressive. That fight kind of sucked, to be honest with you guys. But I think Vitor is still a guy that should be retiring. I don't think he is the guy that he once was. He's not flashy. He's not knocking people out. He's not being very aggressive. He's trained in Canada with George St. Pierre, but it didn't show me nothing, man. It didn't show me that he improved. It showed me that the TRT Vitor, when he was on steroids and TRT, that guy was murdering people, head kicking them, body kicking them, and doing stuff. And this guy just looks like he stands there and wants to counter strike, and he became a boring version of himself. You know, I don't know what to say, man, but the dude used to be a killer. He used to be a guy that was fucking fools up and just beating them and brutally knocking them out. And now he just goes, he'll throw one punch and that's it. But overall, this was a sleeper of a card. All the fights were good. All the fights were great. But a lot of MMA fans out there don't know a lot of these guys, so they're like, oh, I'm not going to tune in and watch this fight card because it sucks and whatnot. But it's always the fight cards that are sleeper cards that are always the best fight cards. You know, Max Holloway becoming the champion. Nobody predicted that. At least casual fans, they were like, I don't know who Max Holloway is. He's going to be the champion. Max Holloway is a beast. He won. You had Brazil's own Vitor win, and you had Brazil's woman fighter win, and she won by choking out her opponent. And I thought the women's fight was going to be a more devastating, brutal, crazier fight because of what it was. You had two ladies that were number one and number two in the world, and Karolina was the girl that I thought was going to be fighting for the number one title and be fighting for the championship. And I think what she did is she overlooked it. She was already looking at Joanna Jacek as, hey, I'm going to be the number one contender. I'm going to fight you again. But she got choked out very easily. And that's one thing that's bad when you get on your back and you have a high-level grappler. They'll just submit you quickly when you're not a high-level grappler. But at the end of this live stream, I want to say if you guys have not seen the fights, click the links in the description box and you will be able to see the full fights. I'll put a link up there to MMAcore.com where they post the fights. They're probably like 360p. They're not like the best quality videos, but they'll at least give you the chance to watch the fights. But like I said, guys, I'm not surprised when Max Holloway won. I'm not surprised that Jose lost, but I was assuming the way Max was fighting that Jose would have won the fight because the way he was being more aggressive. But Max Holloway shocked the world. He's now 11 out of his last 12 fights. He's won, and he just won 50 G's, baby. And he has that confidence, man. He's calling people out now. He has that confidence. He's running that division. He said he's going to run that division for a very long time. And the dude's getting better and better, you know. He's a very skinny dude, but he reminds me of kind of like a Nick Diaz. He doesn't throw a lot of like heavy power shots, but he throws a lot. But in this fight, he didn't throw a lot. Like you look at his Ricardo Lamas fight. You look at the fights where he fought Cub Swanson. He was throwing a lot of strikes, and maybe it was because it was for a world title. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe it was because it was on a higher stage. The whole world's looking at him. I don't know, but the dude came out from adversity in the first round, almost getting knocked out. I thought he was going to get knocked out and lost. But Jose, I guess, didn't do what he was supposed to do, throw the leg kicks. Jose is known for throwing brutal leg kicks, and that really messes up his opponents. And you know that. You look at Frankie Edgar, for example. He always gets messed up when he fights Jose because of the significant leg kicks. But Jose Aldo will be back. I believe he'll be back. He will get a title fight again. He'll get a title shot because who's better than that guy? Nobody. Maybe they should have Frankie Edgar versus Jose Aldo 3 for a number one contender fight. What would you think about that, guys? Would that be a badass fight? Jose versus Frankie for a title fight? Maybe. But I'm going to end the live stream, and I will definitely shoot the shit with you guys next time. I'm going to be doing these every pay-per-view. And if you guys go to my Twitter page, you can always join me for the live streams of the UFC fights because I always do them over Periscope where you can see the live fights. Okay, I know it's cell phone quality, it's streaming quality, but you can still see the fights on my Periscope. But I'm not really surprised. I'm not really shocked what happened at this whole fight card. It was not the best fight card, but I would say it was like a set. It was about like an 8 out of 10. So with that being said, I'll be back for UFC Fight Night with Mark Hunt, and you guys will definitely hear my results on that and see my breakdowns and what I think about that. Because man, that fight tonight was my heart was pumping when Jose was on the ground. I was like, he's gonna get up. But nah, man. And you could see that Jose put so much heart and determination into the fight because he was on his basically crying at the end of the fight. And that's when you know somebody who has a very love for the game. He has passion, he has heart, and he wants to be a champion. And you can see it. He was disappointed, and in front of his home country. That's bad to lose in front of your home country, in front of your friends, in front of your family. And sometimes, guys, when you're fighting in front of your hometown, the bad problem is you always have like more hype on you. You have people, your fans, your friends, I want to come to the fight, and then losing in front of them is embarrassing. That's why a lot of fighters say they don't want to fight in their hometown or their home state because they're embarrassed if they lose in front of their friends and their family. They'd rather do it in some other state, town, country where nobody knows who they are besides maybe a fan. But wow, was tonight an upset, or was it just Max Holloway being the beast that he is? You know, Max Holloway, that dude's ever improving, ever improving. I don't know who's going to be next to fight Max Holloway. Is it going to be Frankie Edgar? I don't know, man. It's just a weird situation now that you have Max Holloway as the real champion, and people call Max Holloway a fake champion. You guys are losers. You guys are straight losers. You're saying this belt is fake. You're saying Conor McGregor is the real fucking champion. Conor McGregor is not the real champion. He even basically will never make the 145-pound division. So all you people watching, you know Conor McGregor's never going to make the 145-pound division. So if you keep saying it's a joke that Jose Aldo and Max Holloway were fighting for a title, it's not a joke, son. It's not a joke. A joke is Conor McGregor never coming back to fight at 145, so they had to strip him of the belt. Okay, I see this on Twitter. I see this on the YouTube pages. I see it everywhere that everybody's like, this is a fake belt. Well, how's it a fake belt if Conor's like, I'm never coming back to fight at 145? That's not a fake belt. It's a guy who whooped his ass. If Conor wants to come back to 145, I want to see the new Max Holloway fight the Conor McGregor of 2017. And we'll see this fight be a lot better than the Max Holloway versus Conor 1, because that fight went all 3 rounds. And Conor could not beat up Max Holloway. He didn't knock him out. He didn't finish him. He went 3 rounds with this dude, okay? So in 2017, if they do a rematch, that fight would be a lot better. But you know, guys, Conor McGregor's not making 145, so all you naysayers that say it's a fake belt, shut up. Just shut your mouth, because he ain't making the weight anymore, okay? He can make 155, he can make 170, but 145, he might be able to make the weight, but he would look very depleted and not great. Because if you look at pictures of him at 145, 155, 170, he looks better at 155 than he does at 145. 145 is so leaned out, he just does not look good. And a lot of people are saying he just can't make the weight anymore. So that's why you had Max Holloway versus this guy. Because if Conor was going to be coming back, he would already defend his title. And he ain't going to defend 2 titles. So we'll hopefully see Conor McGregor back sometime in the UFC after he fights, what's his name? Floyd Mayweather. If that fight ever happens, a lot of boxing fans are saying it's never going to happen. A lot of pro boxers are saying it's not going to happen. But like I said, guys, tonight's fights were just straight badass. They were some of the better fights that you have seen in a long time. And they were sleeper fights. A lot of MMA fans didn't watch because they're like, oh, a lot of these guys aren't big draws, big names. But those are the fights that always are exciting. Like Eric Silva's fight. You had Vitor's fight. You had Max Holloway's fight. You had Karolina's fight. The Karolina fight wasn't all that like what I thought it would be. I thought it would be a more barn burner of a fight. But Karolina did get choked out very quickly and very fast. But as always, thanks for stopping by and listening to the MMA breakdown of UFC 212. I'll be back with other live streams coming very soon, baby. And links in the description box. Like I said, after this live stream goes live, there will be a link below, and it will be for you to go watch the fights of UFC 212. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. Oh, and remember to check me out at the MMA Underground. It's the MMA Underground on Facebook. I post all the fights up there. If you click the links in the description box, you can go to the Facebook page, and there is links to the fights up there. There's live streams of the fights. There's a lot of stuff. So you can go to my Facebook page and always check out fights and results and interviews and everything like that, because I'm trying to grow that MMA community. So you guys will definitely enjoy it, because I definitely want to grow the MMA community. So if you guys are watching right now, go to my MMA Underground Facebook page, and there's all sorts of links and everything to the fights, and I'll put it up right now so you guys can watch it. So just wait like a few minutes for this to be posted to the channel after I end the live stream, and then you guys will see the links in the description box. So I'm Trevor. As always, thanks for watching another Trevor's MMA breakdown.